What was supposed to be a silly video detailing the campaign of Cold War has turned into one of finding out the darkest, most secret projects the United States of America has ever committed and the story of those it was on. Warning, I will be speaking about true events that happened in the world and comparing them with the game and how it views them. Also, I will be spoiling all of Cold War's campaign, so you have been warned. So what happens in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? Well, in 1981, Russell Adler, Frank Woods, and Alex Mason of the CIA are sent to target Qasim Javadi and Arash Kadivar for their involvement in the Iran hostage crisis, a real-life event where 52 American diplomats and citizens were held hostage for 444 days in the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. Qasim reveals to the team that Arash is in Turkey, and after a shootout and the explosion of a plane, Arash reveals to the three that Perseus was the one who organized the hostage crisis and is promptly executed. So who is Perseus, you may ask? Well, the game says he was a secret KGB operative who made it into the US, but his history in real life goes much deeper than that. During World War II, the United States was creating a secret weapon that would win the war and show the world they were the true superpower. The secret weapon, a nuclear bomb capable of wiping cities off maps and killing thousands in the blink of an eye. In 1949, a United States aircraft whose job it was to detect radioactivity in the air realized that a nuclear weapon had gone off inside of the Soviet Union. Due to Russia's lack of uranium mines at the start of the arms race, and their refinement methods not being quite as tactical as the United States, the Soviet Union realized something. Why test and waste their precious few resources when someone else has already done the job? Testing that would normally take years, maybe even decades, were done in months. And by 1949, the Soviet Union had already tested its first nuclear bomb. The Allied powers didn't expect the Soviet Union to create one until at least 1953. Someone told the Soviets how to build the bomb. Multiple spies have been discovered over the years, some such as Klaus Fuchs, who confessed to the United Kingdom government as early as 1950. However, there is one name that hasn't been revealed and probably never will, and that's the spy with the code name Perseus. Many theories surround Perseus, with many possible suspects. Some sources saying it's multiple people, and some believing he wasn't even real, but rather a piece of Soviet intelligence meant to scare US citizens and scientists and force them to become increasingly paranoid. Perseus is a symbol of the scariest thing to a United States citizen during the Cold War, a Soviet spy pretending to be one of them. This was Perseus. However, the game takes Perseus to an even further realm. In the real world, Perseus had seemingly gone missing on the United States radar after the Manhattan Project. However, the game continues him as having influence throughout the 60s to Vietnam and beyond, all the way to the 1980s. President Ronald Reagan then agrees to send a black operation to find Perseus, consisting of Jason Hudson from Black Ops 1 and 2, and Adler, who recruits Woods, Mason, and an agent simply known as Bell. At this moment, you then create who Bell is using a CIA paper and enter a character creation menu where you can choose who they are, their name, skin tone, gender, or if they are non-binary, and most importantly, their history, chosen between the CIA, MI6, or a former KGB operative. During a mission in East Germany, the group discovers that Perseus has infiltrated Operation Greenlight. Greenlight is a secret US program that hid secret hydrogen bombs all over Europe's major cities in case the Soviets tried to invade Europe and destroy their usage of the land in a scorched earth type of policy. Operation Greenlight is not a real operation. Although the United States did have some nuclear bombs in Europe, especially neighboring countries of the Soviet Union such as Turkey, these were used more as a warning and contingency plan in case the Soviet Union decided to use their own bombs. The placement of secret bombs across Europe, especially those secret to the country they're in themselves, such as a bomb in Paris without the knowledge of the French government, does not exist. Bell and Adler, fearing that Dragovich's sleeper agents from the first Black Ops game will be used by Perseus, infiltrate the KGB headquarters and obtain a list of operatives. One of the operatives is discovered to be a Project Greenlight scientist who then fled to Cuba. After the team send a raid to Cuba, the team realizes that Perseus has reverse engineered the launch codes for every single nuke for Operation Greenlight. After a botched exit, Bell is severely injured. As you come into the lab to fix your injuries, something interesting happens.
Broadcast the activation signal.
How are we gonna pull that out of our ass?
Bell knows where it is.
Bell? This goddamn science project was a failure!
Don't count Adler out yet. The man has a deep bag of tricks.
You are given a dose of some drug and are told to relive your Vietnam memories from earlier in the game. Earlier, after your hind crashes, Adler tells you to move forward and follow what he is saying. And as you continue, things become messy. If you disobey Adler, he gets angry and says things such as,
Bell keeps switching scenarios. Now he's running 11.
and you slowly realize you can disobey Adler. When the mission begins, you hear Perseus say to you,
Do not trust Adler. Adler is lying to you. Do not trust him. Do not listen to Adler. He is lying to you. He is lying to you. Do not trust Adler.
As you run through the scenario time and time again, you keep finding yourself at a red bunker door. The mission slowly turns into a horror film as you move through the same hallway over and over, with slow inconsistencies at first, such as additional clocks on the wall, to doors slamming shut with gunfire coming out of them. Adler standing, twitching, and as you approach the door, shutting. You can move down this hallway, but the door is always behind you, with Adler demanding you open the door. You realize once you go through the door what's behind it. Perseus, and, more importantly, where he is hiding. But how can you know where Perseus is? Well, it's revealed that you are a subject of the secret CIA operation MK Ultra. You were an operator for Perseus who was betrayed by Arash at the beginning of the game. Adler found you and gave you to the CIA, where, after they realized conventional torture wasn't going to work, looked toward MK Ultra, where they then placed false memories in your brain to try and find where Perseus is. The game just sort of drops that, but gives no real context to what MK Ultra is besides it's a mind control operation. So what exactly is Operation MK Ultra? I want to preface that this will deal with extreme subjects involving innocent civilians of the United States being treated as lab rats by the United States government. This is a real CIA project that was discovered and brought to public attention in 1975 via President Ford's United States President's Commission on CIA Activities within the United States. All documents were meant to be burned in 1973 via direct orders from CIA Director Richard Helms. Only first-hand reports and a few surviving documents survived, so the information we have about this is limited at best, and yet is still so eye-opening. Project Artichoke was created in 1951 and researched interrogative methods, and the main objective of the project was to determine if a person could involuntarily perform an act of attempted assassination. This then led to Project MK Ultra in 1953. Project MK Ultra was created to attempt to either create a sort of truth serum or brainwash Soviet spies to gain information on the Soviet Union. According to author and former New York Times correspondent Stephen Kinzer, the project, quote, was a continuation of the work begun in World War II era Japanese facilities and Nazi concentration camps on subduing and controlling human minds, providing details such as the use of mescaline on unwitting subjects, which was first practiced at the Dachau concentration camp. You may be asking, but we defeated the Nazis. Why would we take their projects and seemingly continue them? Well, I have one major answer to this: Operation Paperclip. For those of you not aware, Operation Paperclip was when former Nazi rocket scientists were hired to help America's rocket and missile programs in exchange for their freedom, or at the very least, a subdued prison sentence. But that's not the worst part. You see, the scientists obviously didn't have a large line of Soviet spies who are willing to be test subjects. So how did they find these subjects then? Primarily, the CIA targeted mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, and sex workers, people who could not fight back, one agency official said. In Operation Climax, the CIA set up fake brothels to obtain men who would be too embarrassed to speak about the events, and implemented one-way mirrors and listening devices inside the rooms and then gave them LSD and other hallucinogenic drugs. There are so many stories of similar experiments, including one mental patient who was given LSD for 174 days straight. The time MKUltra was created was during the peak of paranoia in the CIA after Russia was discovered to have nuclear weaponry and fear of communism rising, as well as alleged reports that the Soviets were doing the same mind control tactics to United States soldiers during the Korean War. To the CIA at the time, MKUltra was a necessary evil, one to control the communists and secure America's way of life. This is the peak of McCarthyism and what paranoia and rampant fear can do to a nation. It can set off the government, those who are sworn to protect us, to take advantage of our most vulnerable people and use them as test subjects. You then have to choose. Do you tell these men who changed your entire personality, stole your identity, and replaced it with one that fits their objective, where the launch codes are, and save millions of lives? Or do you choose to be an individualist and stick by your former thoughts and lead your former enemies turned teammates into a trap where they are killed one by one, but at the cost of millions of lives? This is what Call of Duty Black Ops has always been about. The illusion of choice. From Alex Mason being the secret Soviet sleeper agent in Black Ops 1 to Corvus slowly taking over your brain in Black Ops 3. The theme of Black Ops games have always been about choices and the illusion of choice. This game finally gives you the choice of what you want to do. However, even that is just an illusion, because the game says work with the people who came from the country you, the player, and not Bell, probably grew up in, as a majority of Call of Duty players are from these Western countries, and save millions at the loss of your identity, or team with the terrorist who is working outside of his government, who wishes to see nothing but his enemies burn. His enemies being characters from previous Black Ops games such as Woods and Mason, who the player probably already has a sort of attachment to, because through the game, it paints a picture that Perseus is no longer working for the Soviet Union, but rather he is working alone, as he believes that the officials in charge are losing their sight, and even at the end of the game, if you side with him, he states he will replace those who do not listen or agree with him. So, what turned into a mildly interesting idea as a concept has turned into an obvious one. You either choose the good ending or the bad ending. You choose to save millions and agree with those who replaced your identity, or partner up with the terrorist who wants to see the entire Western world burn. You go from an interesting idea of individualism and what it means to have an identity and what makes you human into one of a simple answer, a good or bad ending. And if you want proof of this, look up on YouTube Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, good or bad ending, and they'll all portray the same, as choosing to save millions as good and teaming with a terrorist as bad. I don't disagree with that. I would choose the choice to save millions every single time. The only reason I would ever choose to team with Perseus is because of an achievement in the game or just a morbid curiosity, because I know this isn't real. This doesn't happen. I'm not going to be responsible for millions of people, and that's the issue. The game was moving towards a climax where you must choose what you as a human believes in, but the game turns it into a simple answer, good or bad, and that's so disappointing to me. The game could have given us a multi-layered ending like Black Ops 2, where no matter what your choice is, there's consequences. If you ask any number of Black Ops 2 players which ending was the good one and which one was the bad one, they all will have a different answer, not only due to the amount of specific choices throughout the campaign that could lead to the ending, but the idea at the end being what you perceive as justice. You see, at the end of Black Ops 2, you can either choose to have Raul Menendez, a kingpin turned revolutionary, be given to the law and tried for his crimes, or you can kill him yourself. If he is tried, he has the potential to break out of prison due to his followers. However, if you kill him, he could become a martyr. Everything you did in the rest of the campaign mattered. Every little thing, every mistake, every victory led to this one moment. Do you choose to believe in the law and pray it works back, or do you turn this revolutionary potentially into a martyr? Having choices is what makes us human. Whether it's a tiny choice such as what to eat for dinner, or large ones such as what religion you follow or what your job is. These choices can just as easily be taken away by those in charge. And in the case of those subjected by MK Ultra, they were.